for having me. This is wonderful. I walked in the space. I'm guilty of being in a bubble. I'm sorry. And I didn't know this space existed. I'm thinking and brainstorming of different ways that we can connect and I can contribute and give back, because that is what I do. And so I'm excited. So thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe a little bit of inspiration will be how I started and how I got here. I am a Baltimore girl.
All right.
I grew up in the 21215. Park Heights, West Coast Spring Lane, you know, so I had very humble beginnings. My parents did the best they could. Both of my parents are blind. And I was raised in a house, a very special household, and I didn't know it was special at the time. I thought everybody's parents were the same kind of way, right? I learned how to read when I was 3 years old, and it wasn't because I was smart. It was because I had to read things from my mom so that we can get around. So I had a very interesting upbringing, but it was very humble. I was raised in Baltimore City Public Schools, very ordinary. I played the clarinet. I marched in the Baltimore West Siders marching band. Don't tell nobody. Yeah. Did all that, and I was very athletic as a child. I ran track and all those things, but I was never exposed to dance. My father, being blind, he was also a very popular jazz musician here in the Baltimore area, the Dennis Fisher Band. You might be. That's my dad. My dad is Dennis Fisher. So I was very familiar with music. I mean, I had jazz musicians, Mickey Fields and Johnny Polite, and all those people walking through my living room. I used to swing on Johnny Polite's legs when I was a child. I knew music, but I was never exposed to dance. I moved a little bit in middle school, but nothing ever formal. Then I heard about this school, the Baltimore School for the Arts, and at the same time, Fame was on TV, Flash Dance. I'm dating myself, but it's okay. Solid Gold, all that stuff was on TV. So the culture allowed a window for me to be open to the arts. And so I said, oh, that'd be cool to go to a school where you just dance all day. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm going to, how do you get there? So I auditioned, and I actually got it. When I asked my teachers now, well, what did you see? And they said, no, we saw no formal training. Like, you obviously didn't know what you were doing. But what we saw was a joy for movement. We saw a joy for movement, and we saw aptitude. So all that. They said you were flexible too, so that was very interesting. And you were creative. So that's all I needed. So great. So I entered the School for the Arts with the intention, and I say this all the time, but my intention was to be in a Michael Jackson video. Hey. That was it. That's all I knew. I said, okay, I'm going to get in this school, and I'm going to be in Thriller. I'm going to be in Beat It. I'm going to be in all that good stuff. Yeah, that was my trajectory. That's all I knew. And I remember the school taking us to the Lyric to see the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. And there was a lecture demonstration, so it happened during the afternoon. And so we walked over, because it was really, really close to the School for the Arts, and the curtain opened up, and I thought I would lose my mind. I had never seen so many beautiful people at one time, and they all looked different, and they were all amazing, and there were so many people of color. How is this possible? I'm in tights, I'm in leotard, and I don't know why. I didn't know why. I didn't understand the connection. I couldn't find my classicism, because what is that? What is that to somebody from the 21215? What is that? So it really, I couldn't connect it until that curtain came up. And I went, oh, I'm doing that. Forget Michael Jackson, I'm doing that. Like, whatever they're doing, I got to get a piece of that. That changed my life. So that became, okay, how do I get into that company? How do I do it? How do I get to do Revelations? How do I, literally, I set out from that day, I'm going to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And so I trained really, really hard. I had the best teachers, Stephanie Powell, who we all know, Sylvester Campbell, who used to kick my behind. And thank goodness. Thank goodness he did. I went on to Juilliard, and I danced with a company called Hubbard Street Dance Chicago. I danced with them for 3 years. I was able, I mean, here's this girl from the 21215 in Warsaw, Poland, in Paris, you know, places I had never even dreamed of. I've seen them in textbooks, I've studied them in history, but never could connect. Oh, this is an actual place. So dance really had blessed me. I auditioned for the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and I really had to muster up the courage in 1992. And Judith Jamison was the artistic director at the time because Mr. Ailey had passed. And in the past, I had been on scholarship at the Ailey School. So I had gone through, I met Mr. Ailey before he passed away, and that was really, really once in a lifetime experience. But Miss Judith Jamison was the artistic director at the time, and they were looking for one girl. And there were over 200 women auditioning, and I got the job. So that was, I mean, that was only a testament to my training, period. Being at the Baltimore School for the Arts, being exposed, being shown possibilities. So I danced with the company under the artistic directorship of Miss Judith Jamison, who I call her mentor. Now, I call her and bug her, get on her nerves all the time. She is an amazing source of wisdom. I danced under her artistic directorship for 13 years. And it was a wonderful ride. I got to dance Cry, and being taught Cry by Judith Jamison. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. It was literally like, no, go back, that's wrong. No, go back, that's wrong. No, go back, that's wrong. But after a while, it became, that was beautiful. Good job. That was amazing. So I grew as an artist with the company. I was very, very fortunate. And then it came time for me to go. And sometimes dancers know when it's time to go. When you've been in the same hotel room maybe 5 times, and you get that key and you go, I've been here. I know I've been in this room. I think I'm good. I think it's time for me. I had a family, I have kids at home, which is a whole nother story. But I felt like my time on the stage in that capacity, I was fulfilled. I had done the roles that I wanted to do. I danced with the choreographers that I'd wanted to dance with. And I felt it was time to shift into another gear. And so that's when I retired, and I became a teacher at the Baltimore School for the Arts and an associate professor at Towson University. And my whole trajectory there has been, how can I bring that experience back to Baltimore? Because when I was in the company, we used to come to Baltimore. We used to come to the Morris Mechanic all the time, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And it was a mystery, and it hurt me. I mean, as a Baltimorean, I could never say to my parents, hey, just get in a cab and come see me. They had to come to the Kennedy Center. People had to pick them up. And I said, this is a shame, and there's so much talent here. Why aren't we exposed the same way that I was exposed? So when I retired and came to Towson, I said, you know what? I'm going to bring Ailey back here some kind of way. And so since 2010, I've been fortunate enough to get grants to have Mr. Ailey's work set on my students at Towson, so they've experienced his choreography. The following year, we presented Ailey 2 at Towson University, and we actually, for 6 years now, have brought them back, and they've done residencies and workshops and given free master classes. And we've had Baltimore City Public Schools and Baltimore County Public Schools come in and experience the Ailey legacy the same way I did, through that school performance. And we are changing lives. We have kids walk in one way and leave like, ah, screaming with so much joy and so much inspiration that I can't even tell you how full my heart is once they leave. And then 3 years ago, I said, well, you know what, how can we keep this going? How can we really dig down into the community with our exposure to the arts? And I started bringing Ailey Camp Baltimore, which started Marcia Jews brought it years ago, and then it closed down for a long time. I said, how can I bring Ailey Camp back to Baltimore? It's a camp for underserved youth ages 11 to 14, and it really serves to inspire them and give them some tools to succeed. So it's not just about your how you point your feet or how high your leg goes, but it's really about how do you feel good about yourself? And when you don't, how can you overcome that and step forward? So it's a place where they can feel safe, where they can express themselves, be themselves, and feel confident to take that next step forward into high school. And so we've been doing that. We had our 3rd season. Mr. Torrance Johnson is one of my teachers, one of my ballet teachers. And so we 3 summers. We're trying to expand to our 4th summer and 5th summer. And it's a struggle sometimes because we want to make this opportunity free for the students or for the youth of Baltimore, but you know that takes a lot of fundraising. So a lot of times I don't dance, I don't teach, I'm writing something, I'm writing grants, I'm trying to generate funding. But I'm thinking of all the ways that my Ailey campers can connect back here. Yeah, so I'm thinking, so I just think about where I started in the humble beginnings. And what dance has shown me, and where dance has taken me. And that's all I want to do is give that back. Amen.